Okay, so we're looking at the second phase of my 1971 BSA A65 project. Last time we saw this, it was just a frame, and I cleaned up the frame and done some work on the shocks and such. Now I have gotten more of this put together. We'll start with the front. I redid the front forks, new seals and everything. I went and ordered new rubbers. These are actually the side tank rubbers that I slit sideways. Ordered them from one place, ordered the actual brackets from another. This was a real pain to put on. Definitely had to have the tire out. When I did it, the holes didn't all line up extremely well. And you can see there's still a little bit of a gap here. This side went on a little bit better. This was really a pain. The wire to this was bent enough so that the bottom was actually a little too close to the tire. I had to bend that back into shape. Whoever had this fender before me, I think was a fan of the movie Every Which Way But Loose, wanted to join the Black Widow gang, go after Philo Beto. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I got a couple of the chrome spikes out. I'll get these out. I don't know, maybe I'll put one of those British license plates, even though this is the American version of the bike. I'll do something, find a new fender. I hate to find a new fender. This one's fine, it's just got a few holes in it. I redid the bearings in the front wheel. The front wheel spins silently and beautifully. I followed the video on YouTube that Lundmad put up. His is a little bit different in that his setup was a little different than mine. He had a dust cap on his that mine didn't have. Mine was actually on the inside. I replaced him with sealed bearings that I got online. I actually was able to type in the part number, find them right on Amazon. I looked at the bearings. They actually pretty nice. I was pretty surprised for the fact that I got 4 of them for, I don't know, $10 or something like that. Sure beats the price going online at some of the British bike part websites where they're asking $15 for one bearing. Same part number, same part. Moving up, this headlight shell was completely rust on the inside. This I actually soaked in some evaporust for a while, as I did also with these pieces. I don't have any replacement rubbers for down here, but maybe I'll do that in the future. These rubbers do need replacing. I did actually get a replacement for this rubber in the back of the headlight shell. Right now I've got the indicator lights removed because I'm going to find some of the gasket that goes around them. The headlight wiring is not even in there right now. Yes, I have these reversed right now. I'm going to switch them back, but this one had to make sure it was a 3-to-1 ratio. I had put a 4-to-1 in here because this bike came with a bunch of extra parts. If anyone needs a 4-to-1 speedometer, let me know. They work. Tested them with a power drill. I ordered some signal lights online. They just arrived today. You can see the mess over here. I put these in. I just had bolts holding these on before. I think someone used this as an off-road bike. So for $40, I found these replica ones online. I don't really care as long as they work. And let's see, up here I actually had 6 different control switches. I wasn't sure which was left and which was right. After some talking to some folks online, figured out which was which. I went and opened all these up and I oiled everything. I actually, to make this one, was a conglomeration of 3 different parts. Is that the right word for it? I took this switch from one. I took this wire from another. It was the only one where the wires at the end were not all cut up. These were the best wires out of the bunch, so I actually ended up soldering to a different control plate because this one, the control plate was completely roached. It was just the plastic was brittle and broken. So I found a new control plate on the inside, wire from another, switch from another, and then I just cleaned this up. A bit of steel wool and a bit of time on the wire wheel. I do have to find the ends to both of these. This one just needed some cleaning. This one was good as is. Yeah, I creased up the bearings inside. Now this thing moves way too well. I'm gonna have to get a steering head damper for this setup. Oh yeah, I don't think I had actually put the handlebars on last time. I was able to find the actual clips. They were in a box that had all of these hand parts in it. The choke lever cleaned up pretty well. Actually, I dismantled it, cleaned all the rust out of it. I didn't grease it because I wasn't sure you were supposed to. It does have a curved washer inside for friction, but it works nice and smoothly. Just need to actually hook it up to some carburetors. I just threw the tank on here for right now. I actually went and I de-rusted the tank, actually forgetting that the color red has, you know, iron in it, and so where the de-ruster hit, you see it actually faded the red here and faded the red here. So I still have a little patch of de-rusting to do right here and some on the other side. I'm going to try and do that in such a way that does not hit the paint up here. I ended up putting this in a bag. I only have a gallon of this stuff and it won't cover everything in a tote or anything, so I put it in a bag and cinched the bag up tight to pull the liquid up around. That's how I got this side done. It's funny, when I put this side cover in, the rust, evaporust, didn't do anything to the red, but I think that the red on the tank is a little more fragile. Working my way down and around, I got all new rubbers for the foot pegs. Knocked those on with a rubber mallet. I actually got the brake pedal installed. This bolt was completely seized up. I had to hammer it through from the other end and then grease it because that's supposed to pivot on the bolt as a shaft, and well, the whole bolt was moving. Problem is I forgot to leave a nut on the other end, and so I wrecked the threads just a little bit on the end, but I was able to clean those up. Dumb mistake, I won't do that again. This foot peg over here was a little bit bent. I bent this back and bought a new stainless bolt online, one-off bolt. It's, I think, 1/8 of an inch shorter than stock. It was looking for 1 1/8 inch, and that one is just a 1 inch. Fine thread, standard stainless steel. So I shouldn't have any problem, at least on that side. I have a bunch of these switches. These are brake switches. They are all in various states of disrepair. I took parts of 2 and I made 1. So whenever the brake pedal is depressed, it lets off the brake switch and then it goes back and the brake light goes off. I didn't actually have a brake rod for this. I mean, who throws away a brake rod? So I ordered one of these online. Took a while. Actually didn't. This one I ordered from Maine. It came, we had a big snowstorm, so it was a little bit delayed. It was this piece that came from England, because I was also missing this. I found, I don't know, $7. Right now it's way up. I don't have a chain on, so the wheel is kind of far forward. I imagine this will be adjusted much farther back. I replaced the bearings in the rear wheel as well. And let's see if my brakes make a sound. Oh, there they go. Brake pedal. Nice quiet bike. And brake. Not bad for a drum brake. At the same time, I just spun it in my living room. I am not actually out on the road. I had to replace one of these. Came as a pair. I got an extra if anyone needs it. Don't have a taillight yet. Some nice person on the Brett Bike Forum has offered me one. Got everything in place waiting for it. Rubbers on this side have all been replaced. I went and put the side covers on, cleaned them up. They took the longest. They were all full of oil and muck. These are aluminum. This is steel. I replaced the seat cover because the seat cover on this thing was totally destroyed. Well, I found that underneath here the metal was all corroded and rusted and pretty sharp. I took Gorilla Tape, cut the strips, the long strips, in half, and was able to fold them up and provided a very nice, safe material for which to stretch the fabric of this over. Picked this up on eBay. Said new old stock. I don't know, it seemed fairly new to me, not that it was actually 40 years old, but maybe the guy didn't know what he meant. Replaced these bolts on the inside with stainless steel. Cleaned that up quite a bit. Spray painted that. It's actually the only part of the bike I've painted, just because nobody's going to see that, and the original patina on there was crap. Replaced the bumpers. I could not actually put the bumpers in here. I found that when I did, it wouldn't close. Cleaned up the coil bracket and the tool tray, the battery box, put those in Evaporust, and holy cow, they came so clean. I couldn't believe it. And then I just put a matte clear coat over them. Like I said before, if I decide I want to repaint this later, it'll be so much easier to do it when it's all cleaned up. Right now I just want to kind of keep it original. Cleaned up the contacts on the coils. The cable, the wiring harness is a complete mess, rat's nest. So I'm going to figure out if I'm going to do that from scratch or if I'm going to buy one online. You can get them from England still. Battery tray, everything put into place. Got new rubbers for the battery box. For some reason, this bolt was crazy. I just would not line up here. I eventually put an electric drill to it and our impact driver, and just by being more stubborn than it, got it to go in nice and clean. I do have my own rear brake light. What it looks like. This. Someone got to welding a little too much and just basically turned it into lunch meat. This spent some time in Evaporust as well. Derusted it just for the fun of it to see what would happen. It actually turned out rather nicely. I can use the electrics from it. Not too bad except for that ugly splice. I'll clean that up. But I didn't really want to put this one on. I know I wanted to keep everything as original as I could, and while this did come with it, that thing is ugly. It's been through a lot. While I might be able to get it going, I'll see what this one coming into me is going to be. And then yeah, just parts and parts and parts. So, all right, let's see what happens next.